And that is why you see when we are talking about education, okay, we know that not only education can make you rich, physically or mentally. Also, the reason why you have to study is because you are living in a market economy, right? And that is something that you cannot escape. If you don't study, then yeah, you will see your competitiveness is going to be lower, and at the end, yeah, because of the price mechanism that you are being put into, and that's why some people they're earning more and some people they're earning less, right? Yeah, and see, last week we also discussed a topic, when you have to choose like which university that you have to choose if you are able to get into both of them, right? And I believe I show you the data as well. Okay, so you see here, right? When we are choosing like what university that we are going to study, what subject that we are going to study, okay, there will be some opportunity cost, right? And that is why we always have to, make choices, okay? And last week, at the end of the lesson, we discussed something about, government subsidies, okay? Because when we look at here, yeah, in both Hong Kong and the U.S., you can see our government or their government, they are giving so much subsidies to education, right? Just like here, yeah. And even if you're not looking at the university level, when you're looking at primary school or secondary school, we are providing 12 years of free education. Okay, so you can see our government, they are giving, you know, so much to education, right? But now the question is this worth it? Yeah, is this worth it? Look at this. Yeah, before government aid, look, a normal student they have to pay this amount of money. Yeah, and after government aid, yeah, they only have to pay like $40,000 per year. And yeah, which makes us think if that is a wise amount of money that a government should spend. Okay, if they're not spending in this area, what else they can do? Okay, right? Yeah. So here I'm gonna give you some more data, so that you can know more about the real world situation. So I'm going to use the data from Hong Kong. Okay. So here, so take a look at this. In Hong Kong, yeah, I'm pretty sure you know in Hong Kong. So these are the universities that we have. Okay, we don't have many universities in Hong Kong. So these are basically all the universities. Okay, yeah. And I can tell you, look, every year, you see here, okay, so government is basically providing all the universities subsidies, and the amount is this for every year. So you can see this is a really huge amount. Okay, yeah, it's like 1.9 trillion. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so you see, it's a very big number. Okay, right? Yeah, but the same question here is, look, what can the government do with that money otherwise? Can somebody give me some examples? So if they're not spending this amount of money on these universities here, what else can they do with that money? Yeah, social services, infrastructure, right? And anything else? Come on, some other people. Come on, just try to give me some ideas. Defense in Hong Kong maybe that's maybe not our choice. Yeah. In some other countries, maybe in the U.S. Yeah. So defense, that is one of the most important things for a country, right? Yeah. So other people, what are your opinions? Come on, just try to throw some ideas. Yeah, in the chat, right? Like healthcare. Yeah, that's good. And yeah, anything else from other people? Come on. A new island. Are you talking about reclaim, reclamation, land reclamation? Subsidizing firms, right? Yeah. Yeah. So there's so many things that we can do with that amount of money. Okay. And as a government, we really need to think about this. Okay. Yeah. Because this is about economics. It's about macroeconomics, and we need to know if we are spending the money wisely. Okay. So now, yeah, because it's all about opportunity cost. If we are not spending this amount of money here, then we can do so many other things. Okay, yeah. So and here, yeah, you have given me so many examples, right? So here, what do you think the government should put the money, you know, to instead? So if you are thinking about the situation right now in Hong Kong, yeah. So let's say, yeah, now you thought about this, and there are some other areas that you believe is we should put more emphasis on it. So what kind of area do you think we should put that money into? What do you think? Oh, housing, yeah, that is very good. Yeah, yeah, housing is, but can you further explain this? Further explain this, like how do you help people, with housing, by using this amount of money? How are you going to do that? Yeah, that is just a name, but if you want to make it more specific, so because if you still remember, when we were going through, the structure of the curriculum in SL lesson last week, we talk about paper free, and that's the paper that you have to do. Okay, the SL students, they don't have to do, and the new feature of paper free. Yeah, there's one new question that you have to finish, and which is a policy recommendation. Okay, so this is actually helping you when you are working on that question. So how are you going to propose a policy which you can better use this amount of money? So when we talk about when you talk about housing, so how exactly you are going to help housing with that money? Hello. For the people, okay, pay a certain amount of money to the for the people, but what are the people? Yeah, I mean there's so many kinds of people in our society, but when you talk about government payments to people, okay, low income people, right? Okay, yeah, yeah, that's good. Okay, so that I guess they can afford you know housing, right? What else can you do with that money besides giving money to some people with lower income? Anyone? So besides giving money to people with lower income, what else can we do to help the housing issue in Hong Kong? Okay, to build more, yeah, Gordon, can you expand this idea? Like how does this amount of money help building more um, properties in Hong Kong? So how are you going to make this happen? Yeah, I want to see something more detail. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. Okay, if we expand the lands, yeah, right. So the more space to build houses. Okay, and yeah, can you conclude, yeah, this this statement here, so that they have more space to build houses. What then? Okay, but can you use some economic theories to support your idea? So of course, when there are more houses, there will be more opportunities for people to live, in those houses. But yeah, what makes the opportunity greater for people to reduce poverty? Like how? I mean, you're just building more houses, but how can that possibly reduce poverty? When you have a higher supply of houses, what could possibly happen? Okay, all right, okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean that is also true. Yeah, even when you talk about renting houses or buying houses, okay. So when there are more supply, okay, yeah, based on the price mechanism than we expect. Okay, yeah, when you imagine that there is a demand and supply curve, you can imagine the price is going to go down. Okay, right? Yeah. So when you are able to increase the supply of houses, I'm pretty sure when you're trying to buy a house or when you're trying to rent a house, the price should be lower. Yeah, it should be lower. Yeah. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, about housing issue. Yeah, that's very good. So when you are trying to come up with a policy recommendation, this is how it feels. Okay. Yeah. So you are going to use the policies that you have learned throughout the curriculum, and then yeah, you try to apply it to the situation provided, and you expand your ideas. So that's how it is. Okay. And when you look at the question later, and you will see it's like a half page. Yeah. So they'll give you a panel, yeah, which is like half page. So you just have to write like a half page essay. Okay. And this is how you can write it. If you have the ideas, how you can solve the issue of housing, right? Yeah, maybe sometimes they are not giving you so many specific data, like here, the assumption that I gave you. Yeah, maybe they just ask you like how can you help solving housing issue. So there are so many other policies that we can use, like price ceiling, yeah, yeah, the subsidies that you just talk about, and some other policies as well. Okay, yeah. So whatever you have learned, okay, yeah, about government interventions, government policies, they are all very useful for the question like this. Okay, so you need to remember this. Okay, all right, because that question there, yeah, it is worth a lot of marks in paper 3. So yeah, you always need to build up this kind of sense. Okay, so when you see the question, then yeah, what you should do. And I suggest you all can actually read more news about how government they try to solve different problems. So you can actually apply using their methods. Okay, when you're looking at their methods, then there will be more ideas for you. Okay, all right. So yeah, like I said before, you need to read more. Yeah, you need to read more. Okay, all right. Yeah. So okay, so that's one of them. I'm pretty sure that there will be so many other places where this money can go into besides housing. Yeah, right. Yeah. So besides housing, what else do you think in Hong Kong we should spend more money into? What else do you think? Any ideas? I mean, if you have any like opinions, no, it doesn't really matter. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer here. Um, Improving infrastructure. Lily, can you tell me the reason, like why it is so important for Hong Kong to improve infrastructure? Yeah, do you see any flaws we have in terms of infrastructure in Hong Kong right now? Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's a very good reason. Yeah, yeah, I like that reason. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is so true. That's so true. Uh, yeah. I don't know if you have observed this. If you realize where you are living, okay, yeah, there are more and more real estates being built, yeah, around your houses. And after 2 or 3 years, and when you're trying to go to school and you realize there are so many more people waiting for the buses and trains. Yeah, yeah, and you become like a can of a sardine. Yeah, you're just being squeezed in, in the compartment, of the train. Yeah, some day later, and that is really bad. Okay, yeah, just like I'm living in Yuen Long, and before, look, there wasn't so many people in Yuen Long, but now it's like every day. If you even if you woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're trying to take a train or something, look, there are lots of people there. Yeah, yeah, and if you talk about 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., wow, that so many people there. Yeah, so I believe that is a yeah, yeah, good place to put money into infrastructure. Okay, but you can see, yeah, when you're trying to think of some policies, how you can improve infrastructure. Look, they are quite similar. Yeah, they are quite similar. Giving subsidies or providing money to different producers, yeah, to make it, etc., etc. So yeah, okay, right? So there are not so many variables, yeah, that you can think of if you are just trying to answer this question in general. Okay, of course, in the reality, is going to be very difficult. Yeah, there are so many factors that you have to consider, right? But in our exam, yeah, you can see. Okay, it's not that difficult. Okay, so don't panic. Okay, so you'll be fine. All right. Yeah, so don't be afraid of paper free. Usually, paper free students, they got the highest score among the free papers. Okay, yeah. So don't worry about this. Okay, right. So if you look back to the screen, can you think about this question here? What would be the effects to the society if the aid is being cut off? So let's say, okay, so now it's happening. Okay, we are going to spend this amount of money into housing and infrastructure. What would be the effects to the society if the aid of education is being cut off? Less skilled workers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Anything else? Hello, other people? Yep. Any ideas? A younger working population. Oh yeah, yeah. That's very good as well. Yeah. So obviously we are going to expect less skilled workers and maybe younger working population as well, right? Because look, when now the subsidy or the aid for university is being cut off. So when people they are thinking about if they should go to university, they have to think it through because they are so expensive. Yeah. So maybe it encourages younger working population. Yeah. So that's quite true. Yeah. Lower productivity. Yeah, because of the lack of skilled workers. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, that's true. And Karen, um, right, more people they may be stuck in poverty trap. Yeah, because if you go back to the poverty trap, right? If you have no skills and you have no income, if you don't have no income, then there will be no saving, no saving. There will be no investment at the end. Look, you are always poor, right? Okay, so these are some bad consequences that we can think of. But any positive consequences, think about the positive consequences if this amount of money is being cut off. For so many policies, there are always two sides. Okay, so don't always just think about one side. Okay, there are always two sides. So if you think about positive consequences, if this aid is being cut off, what would be the positive consequences? Yeah, that one would be more tricky. But think about this, like higher quality students. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's so true, right? Yeah, it's more competitive. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I like that. I like that word a lot. Yeah, more competitive. Yeah, Marco. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, higher quality students, because like what I said. So now, when you think about going to university, you have to think it through. If you don't want to, do this, look, I'm not gonna do it because the cost is so much greater, okay, than before, right? And because now, look, it becomes more competitive in this market here. So at the end, the quality of the university students, they might become greater, okay, because not everyone can study in university anymore, right? You have to do competition, right? What else do you think is good, yeah, in this case? Well, maybe some of you can actually expand the idea from Marco. Yeah. What else do you think is good? Yeah, too difficult. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and later on you might see some more ideas. Okay, so look, let's take a look at this. One more data here. You see here, every year, you know, all the university students they are paying this amount of money, like 3.5 billion, okay, Hong Kong dollars, right? Yeah, so this is the amount every year all the university students they are paying, all right, together. Okay, so and here's the thing. Look at this. Look at this picture here. We all know who that is. Yeah, Carrie Lam, right? Chief executive, and so this is her promise when she was in the election. Okay, because take a look at this. Yeah, I couldn't find the English version of this, but you all know Chinese, so yeah. So she has a very high expectation of education because she believes that education is very good for future investment, right? Yeah, this is what we discussed so far, right? And that's why if she was elected as the chief executive, she was going to increase the annual expenses in education, yeah, by $5 billion. Okay, so this was the plan, and if I am not mistaken, she did, yeah, implement this plan here. Okay, so now you can think about this, right? Every year, the university students together they are paying this amount of money. Okay, and now Carrie Lam, look, he's paying 5 billion more to education. Okay, so if you know if she spends just 3.5 billions more, and then look, all the students in Hong Kong, they will have free education throughout the entire like 19, well, no, not really, wait, so 12 years, and for now I think they are proposing free education for kindergarten as well. So 3 years, 15, and then you have 4 years of university, so that's 19. So if that happens, okay, if you just pay 3.5 billions more, then the students, all the students in Hong Kong, they are able to enjoy 19 years of free education. So from kindergarten to university, you don't have to pay nothing. Okay, and everyone will be very happy, and they all have their university degree. So, do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's a good idea? Yeah, come on. When you think about this, so that's how you propose an idea, right? Because we know, so this is the amount every year the university students they are paying, and if that's the case, look, it sounds like a good idea, right? Yeah, even if we pay for that 3.5 billions, we still have 1.5 left. Yeah, so we can do something else, right? Yeah, but you see the problem isn't that simple, or you can say the question, right, isn't that simple. So there are so many things that we have to consider in the reality. Okay, yeah. So if you talk about like entirely free education, I think it's workable. Yeah, based on the data provided. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you agree with me as well, because it's well supported, right? Yeah, just like here. Okay, but in the reality, there are so many other factors that we have to consider. Okay, and now I want you to take a look of this video here. Yeah, it's a debating a video. Yeah, like a 6-minute debating video. So after the video, yeah, give me some comments. So I'm gonna give you 6 minutes, about 6 minutes. So watch this video, and then we will discuss.
Student bailouts are over. Think again with the Fed Institute says joining us. Why is this a bad idea, Peter?
Well, just like the government inflated a housing bubble, the reason that tuitions are so high is because government guarantees the loans. And now students take these guarantees and bid tuitions through the roof. Take the government out of the equation, and the colleges and universities have to lower tuitions so students can afford to go. But the beneficiaries of these high tuitions are not the students. They get stuck with the debt. It's the colleges and the universities that can sell overpriced degrees. And unfortunately, right now, we've got a lot of people with college degrees, waiting tables, cleaning toilets, driving taxis, and they have enormous government debt to pay back out of these small salaries that they earn.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Diana, you're saying that the government has to be involved. Why?
Because investment in human capital is never a waste of money. Of all the things that the government can spend their money on, entitlement programs, subsidizing the housing sector, human capital should never be sacrificed. And I completely agree that the college graduates today, especially young college graduates, have been hard hit by the recession, a recession they never predicted. And it's not fair to ask them to shoulder the burden alone. They have seen their wages fall by 15% in real terms over the last decade. Meanwhile, their debt has risen 25%. And it's completely unacceptable to suggest that every college student does not have the right to go to school. They should all have the opportunity to pursue an education.
But, I mean, you know, look at these numbers. Barclays warning that we're going to see a tsunami of student loan defaults through 2020. So how has the government been positive here?
I think the government has a clear role to play here in the long term. I mean, look, we need to realize, and as soon as we all agree that education is a social good, we'll all be better off. We need to invest in our future. We need to invest in the economy. And right now, the economy is the big problem. There aren't enough jobs being created for college grads, especially young college grads. So they are driving buses. They are hairstylists. And that's a big problem because they're squeezing, essentially, young non-college grads out of those jobs. And then they're taking a pay cut that can't pay for their debt. And so the problem is having a low growth economy. The only way out of this is to educate kids and get them into jobs that are better paid.
Let me get a word in here, because wasting money overpaying for worthless degrees is not going to help the economy. In fact, it hurts the economy.
No degree is worthless. You're always acquiring skills. You're always acquiring skills. It's whether or not the jobs are there that you can utilize those skills.
A lot of the curriculum, a lot of the courses do very little to improve human capital. Look, plenty of people went to college before the government got involved. It just didn't cost nearly as much. People didn't graduate college with a mortgage. Now they do.
I don't think colleges are setting prices based on how much students can take out of banks.
Of course. No, they're basing their prices on the fact that students can borrow money with government guarantees. If the government got out of the market...
I think there's more to it than that.
No, there isn't. That's exactly the problem.
I disagree.
If the government got out of the market, students couldn't borrow money so cheaply. Interest rates would rise, and students wouldn't be able to bid up prices.
Right, colleges so then you get to decide who gets to go to college, and so only rich students get to go to college. That's a very good message to send.
It's not up to the government to pay for everybody's college degree, and you don't have a right to go to college. I mean, people should go to college.
I think everybody should have the opportunity to go to college, and I don't think you should decide who gets to go to college.
I'm not deciding
it,
but by subsidizing it, they create this huge bubble. Do you think students are really better off? I've had plenty of students on my radio show. The biggest regret in their life is that they went to college, because now they're stuck with an enormous debt. I had one young woman on my show.
They're stuck with a low innovation economy that's not creating the right type of jobs.
Well, the reason they're not creating the jobs is the government is diverting all the capital to education, and it's not going to businesses. Of all the things the government is spending
money on, I hardly would suggest that I would be hard-pressed to find somebody that would suggest that investing in college education is a bad investment.
Yeah, you found me. It's a lousy investment. We are squandering our wealth.
It's never a lousy investment, and when that's the case, then we've got a real problem on our hands, because the only way forward, the only way to invest in our future is through education.
No, not everybody needs
growth.
Not everybody needs a college degree. This is what you're doing, is playing into the universities and the colleges.
I'm not saying everybody needs a college degree, but anybody who wants to go to college should get to go to college. They should have that opportunity.
They have the opportunity without the government.
Who's paying for it? I mean, who's paying for it? I mean, our taxpayers once again on the hook here.
Like with other things, like with entitlement programs, like with the housing sector, of all of the things that taxpayers would be on the hook for, I would argue that education is probably one of the least controversial.
Oh, it is very controversial. And, you know, because of the government, today, a college degree is not worth the price that you pay for it. Not only in the cost, but the 5 or 6 years that you're not in the labor force. But if we simply got the government out of education, college tuitions would plunge. Colleges would be forced to compete.
I do not agree with that. I do not think
basic economics.
I think there's. I'm well aware of basic economics. Thank you. But I would argue that. Yes, I am. Thank you. But I would argue that there's a lot more variables at play in a college. How college prices its tuition as opposed to.
Prices are determined by supply and demand. If you take away the demand by taking away the guaranteed loans, colleges will have to stop building these fancy gymnasiums and these fancy campus campus housings or the big restaurants, they'll have to cut prices. They'll have to cut the pay of some of their administrators and bureaucrats.
They'll have to cut their faculty. They'll have to cut their technology.
No.
They'll have to cut their investment.
No, they won't.
Absolutely.
No,
Yes, they will.
The technology will probably increase. Look, in the 1950s, students got great educations in college, and it didn't cost anything. Kids used to work their way through college, and they graduated debt-free
and there were
with
jobs
degrees.
For them.
I know.
And we're gonna agree to disagree because these are all very, very good points. Thank you so much, Peter, Diana. Great conversation.
Thank you very much.
Laying it all out for us. Thank you. Bailouts are open.
Okay. So have you finished watching the video? Yeah? So, this is what you can do with economics. Just go on a TV show and talk crap. Yeah? This is what we do. Okay? But, anyway. Yeah, so after finish watching the video, who do you support? So after hearing all that, debate, all the arguments that they have, do you support Peter or do you support Diana? So if you support Peter, can you just press 1, and if you support Diana, can you just press 2 in the chat? So I can see what is your opinion about this? Come on. Just 1 people, Gordon? Yeah, just you. Okay, 2. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think it's a tie so far. Yeah, come on. Number 2. Okay, number 2 as well. Okay, number 2, a lot of number 2, yeah, and 1. Come on. Give me some more. Where are the other people? Yeah, are they not hearing at all? Maybe, yeah, but at the end, look. Yeah, maybe AFK. Yeah, not so sure. But I'm more like a market economy guy. So if then, yeah, I'm just gonna let the market, right, teach them a lesson. Okay, so number 2 as well, right? Anything else? Yeah, come on, anyone else? Nope. Oh, come on. All right. So I can see a lot of 2 here. Can you tell me, your justification? Okay, so now you believe Diana is more correct, yeah. But you have to convince me. Let's say I'm supporting Peter. Okay, so now you have to convince me, right? Can you, make some justification if you are, showing number 2 in the chat, right? Because like Peter said, look, when we are trying to give them subsidies, okay, there's so much money being misspent, right? Yeah, if they didn't have such subsidies, look, they would be more competitive. They will, when we talk about cost efficiency, yeah, they will control their costs much wiser. And at the same time, look, in the market, okay, yeah, people, they would know, right, whether they should further their study or not. Because in the economy, if you are not doing something to increase economic growth, like stably and sustainably, in a sustainable manner, okay, yeah. So if everyone is entitled of studying, whatever subject that they have, at the end, so who is going to work, on some blue collar jobs, like what Peter said, like washing dishes, cleaning a toilet, etc., etc. Yeah, when everyone they all have higher skills, but at the end, like Peter said, okay, some people when they finish their degree, they end up working, like cleaning the toilet and being as waitress and some other blue collar works. Yeah, and at the same time, okay, well, their human capital is not being fully realize or utilize because of that. Because when we are giving them free education, right, or a high subsidy of education, okay, some people they would not do some jobs. So so how do you argue that? How do you how do you make justification? All right, yeah. So here, Katrina, emphasize on emphasize right? It doesn't really matter, if you are, being born in a wealthy family or not, as long as you are here in the society, you are entitled, to get access to education. Okay, right? That's one very good argument. But at the same time, you need to answer my question. So for equity, you have a very good justification. But what about the things that I just said? What about the efficiency in the market? If we focus on equity in education, based on the human right that we have, so we might have to give up some efficiency. How do you argue that? Okay, all right. That's good. In the long term, that's very good. Sometimes when we are doing evaluation, there are some some different evaluations that we can do, and one of them is actually using short term and long term. And Katrina, this one is very good. When we talk about long term, it should be good for the society, right? Because when we are able to increase the competitiveness in human capital in general, it should be better for the society in the long run. More efficiency at the end, right? So that is very good. So that could be a good argument. Anything else? But when you are watching the video, when you were watching the video, they also talk about this. So because of the high subsidies, so many students, because not every student they can afford degree, a degree. So they might have to borrow money when they were studying university. But when the subsidy is being so big, so they are very tempted to borrow money and try to finish their degree. Okay, but at the end, because when they got out of university, they cannot find a decent job. So they are carrying a huge burden of loan. At the same time, they're not able to increase their income, because they cannot find the job that they wanted to do. So at the end, that's another problem that Peter pointed out. So you can see, right? I would say, look, it really depends on people, and I wouldn't say, look, one is more correct or two is more correct, So if you have your own justification, if you are able to convince people, I think that is more important. Sometimes in economics, when we come to some specific topics, it's all about how you can convince people, rather than how do you make it right. How do you make your statement right? Right, all right. So it really depends. But I think that video is very good. To think about, right? Especially when we are studying economics, because this is what we always have to think about. So just like last week, when we were talking about efficiency versus equity, when we were in the canteen, right? At school. So so that's one very big topic that we always have to bear in mind. Right? So I hope when you are studying this subject here, you always have to build up some critical thinking. Yeah, so like which side are you going to support, and when you are supporting that side, what are the reasons behind? Okay, yeah, so that is more important. Okay, all right, yeah, so yeah, so that's good. Okay, yeah, so we need some higher level thinking. Okay, right, yeah, so right, we still have 10 minutes. Okay, so let's move on to another topic. Okay, so yeah, so here, look, when you look at the screen, when you look at the pattern, what can you tell me? So look at the map, look at the pattern. Yeah, what can you tell me? What is it trying to say? Any ideas? Distribution of skill level. Well, that is but no, that's not. Okay, I can tell you that is something very serious recently happening in our planet. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, that's the pattern of people, okay, who are being infected by COVID-19. All right, yeah, so you see here, yeah, Europe is really bad. Okay, but I don't look. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, if it's just Wuhan here, we have so many people getting infected, because based on the data that we have been seeing lately, and also the pattern. Yeah, when you look at the pattern, okay, I'm pretty sure you can look at the pattern. Yeah, I think the news medias, they have shown us some charts, yeah, to compare the pattern of different countries when they are having the outbreak. Yeah, but you can see some very strange pattern in the Chinese one. Yeah, America, yeah, has the most people infected. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, that's true. But when you talk about the whole Europe, yeah, so many people, they are getting infected as well. Yeah. And look, not so sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there should be more and more people being infected in China, because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, if U.S. is having this situation, and China, there are 1.4 billion people living in China, and and it doesn't make any sense to me that China only has that amount of people being infected. Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. But this is not what I'm trying to discuss. Okay, I'm sure. Of course, I'm trying to discuss something more related to economics. Okay, and we know COVID-19 is something very closely related to economics. Okay, because it's affecting our economy very huge, right? So, talking about this, yeah, COVID-19. So, what do you think? How does it affect the local economy and international economy? If you have to use, what you have learned in economics so far, so how do you explain it to me? Yeah, because of COVID-19, what happened to local and international economy? Anyone? Yeah, recession. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Recession, but recession because of, okay, so people, they cannot work, so no spending. Yeah, that's more like it, right? Production, right? Business failure, less demand. But Lily, not so correct. Okay, well, you are on the right track, but you are using the wrong term. Can you correct yourself? Less something demand. What is it? Aggregate demand. Yeah. Thank you, Katrina. Okay. So you really have to be careful. Okay. When you are talking about demand. Okay. Because demand and aggregate demand, or AD, they are totally different. Okay. Yeah. Because here we are talking about economy as a whole. All right. So but when you just talk about demand, okay, you're talking about something. Okay. The demand for something. Okay. And which is not true in this case. All right. So now we know, because of this pandemic, it's affecting basically the entire economy. So yeah. So people, they don't want to consume because they don't want to get out of their houses, or they are being social distanced. Okay. So they cannot consume, and people, they cannot work. Okay. So that the AD is being affected, right? Yeah. So you can expect there will be pretty much very lack of AD. Okay. And that's why, which explains why there is recession around the world. Yeah. So if we connect all the points that you have together, then that is a very nice piece of answer. Okay. And when you are working on your answer, this is how you should create it. Okay. Yeah. So this is a complete answer. All right. So yeah. So that's why you see, okay, because of COVID-19, look, recession, people, they are losing jobs, right? Yeah. And no one wants to consume. Okay. So this is really bad. Okay. Yeah. And so, can you tell me this? Well, I think Katrina already told me the answer. Yeah. So what could be the worst case to the firms? So basically, business failure. Yeah. Yeah. So when you're having bankruptcy, then that's the worst case that you can get for firms. But you also want to think about one more question. So now this is the case, right? We know there is a lack of AD, and because of the virus, and because it's so severe, okay, so many firms, they are having business failure. So there are so many bankruptcies going on around the world. Okay, so think about this one here. Okay, what is the most common way for the firms to gather capital for investment? Can you tell me? The most profit? Yeah, that's so true. But now when they are, so besides profit, yeah, loans. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, so loans. Okay, yeah, besides profits. Okay, let's say you are a new business, and before you are able to earn some profits, of course you are going to borrow some loans so that you can invest in the capital and for more profits, right? Yeah. But here is the question. One more question. What could be the worst case to the banks and financial institutions because of COVID-19? And when you think about all the clues that you have. Okay, run out of money to lend. Yeah, that is so true. Okay, that is so true. Because now, businesses, they fail to repay the loans. Right? Yeah? And if they're failing to repay the loan, then basically the banks, they have nothing in their hands. Okay? Yeah? Because, it requires saving in order for the banks to lend money to other people, and people, they are not earning much, so there will be not much saving as well. So what could be the worst case to those institutions then? So worst case to the banks and the financial institutions, what could be the worst case scenario? I mean, even for banks and financial institutions, they will have to close the banks. Okay? Yeah, and all the money, all the money, right, is lost. Okay? And that's the problem. And you want to think about this. Everybody, when they are earning money, they save the money into the bank. And when so many banks, they are having bankruptcies, what will happen to the people? So it will be a chaos. Okay, so yeah, that that might happen. Okay, no one knows if that will happen, but that might happen if you know when you are talking about the worst case scenario. Okay, so and this is what we call a financial crisis. Okay, so you never know when, okay, the bomb is going to go off. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe a month later, no one knows. But this is the possibility. So when we are studying economics, we can actually predict a future. Yeah, we can. Okay, yeah, of course we need more evidence to support our ideas. But when you're talking about a trend, we are able to see that. Okay, we are able to see the trend so that we can make the best decision that we can make. Okay, yeah. So you know that is also a usage of learning economics as well. Okay, so you know if you are investing on anything, yeah, recently, I suggest you just stop it. Okay, yeah, because it's kind of dangerous right now. It's very risky, but of course, with higher risk, there is high return, right? You know, as long as you know what you're doing. Okay, but yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, then stop investing. Okay, all right, because it's very dangerous. All right, yeah. So you know, this is all for today. Okay, yeah, and I'll see you guys in the SL lesson. Okay, yeah. So take your break. Okay, go take a break. I'll see you guys later. Okay, all right. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.